And that's the little town of Hot Springs, French Broad River. Lots and lots of hills. Growing up, my best friend and I would like hang out in the lilac bushes, and it reminds me of that. This rhododendron or laurel or whatever this plant is, someone can correct me. But it's just like these really beautiful like tunnels. It's like a fairyland, right? Like obviously there's the outside of it, but sorry for the whiplash. It's just like this. It's just this otherworldly tunnel. I love these. Okay, so I am still in Hot Springs. This place is like a vortex, and you just keep staying. But honestly, it's the weather. There's a winter storm rolling in today. It's like 30s, raining. I think it's going to snow this afternoon. Tomorrow is supposed to be super cold, like really cold. It's going to snow a little bit in the morning, but I only have a 9-mile hike to the next hostel. So even if I'm having to get cold, I don't know if you can hear the rain, cold while I'm hiking, there's a warm bed at the end of it with heat, so that should be good. And then I'll just keep hiking on towards Irwin. I think it's like 6 more nights after that. But because I stayed a little bit, I do get to go to the hot springs today and sit in the hot springs, even though it's gonna be freezing outside. I get to sit in a tub, so I'm gonna do that. I was waiting on my room. I'm back above the tavern. So I went down to the little coffee shop, and this lady's like, "Are you a thru hiker? My name's Mama Magic, and I'd love to make you some pancakes." So I sat with her husband and her twin daughters, and we talked for a while, and then she has a camper, so she went down to start making the food. And then we walked down there, and it was amazing, beautiful with pancakes and fruit, and just really sweet family. He's section hiking kind of when he can, and she learned that she could do trail magic, and so that's what she does. She's a master at it, but they were headed out because of the weather, so that was the last trail magic they got to do. So I think his name is T-Dubs, if I'm correct, but I could be really wrong. I'm not great with names. So, yeah, so I went to the pizza place. They've got this beautiful spinach salad, and I had that, and I got some pizza made so that I can eat that for my snack and lunch tomorrow while hiking, because I'm not usually a fan of cold pizza, but it's really nice to have it because you just fold it in half and eat it like a sandwich. So I've got some spinach Alfredo pizza to eat on my hike tomorrow. And like this morning I was at the diner with Pooch and Echo and Monarch, and put a picture of that in there. And then the other picture is Magic Mama and her husband and kids in the camper. I don't think the dog made the picture, but they had a really cute little like blackish brown dog. And they'd given it a trail name. I don't remember the name or the trail name of the dog, but it was cute. And so Hot Springs is a great little town, but I'm also ready to get out of town and move on, and keep hiking. And I feel like by the time I get to Damascus, which will be a couple weeks, maybe I'll have some trail legs where I can start hitting double digits every day, which sounds weird and to say, but hopefully that will be a thing. I've done like this little planner app thing. So if I start at hot springs on Wednesday and I take a 0 every day and only hike like however many miles, it does the math for you. And it said if I did an average of 11.9 miles starting at hot springs on Wednesday, then I would get to Katahdin by August 20th or something, which makes me feel a lot better because I'm not even doing 10-mile days, but I know there will be some, especially in Virginia, where I'm doing like 15-mile days easy, and then of course the miles will back off once I get back to, or get up to New England, like New Hampshire and stuff, probably go back to 8-9-mile days. But if I can like above average for quite some time, then I feel good, because I was just trying to get this dumb hike done by mid-August. So it still looks like I can probably do that according to math and averages that I'm not great at. And that's also taking a 0 once a week, and not like hiking every single day. And I know at some point I'll be doing more Neros, where it's like, oh, there's only 8 miles to the town, let me just hike those 8 miles and spend the night, instead of like get to the town after 2 miles and take a 0 because I'm so tired or whatever. So that is kind of the latest update. I feel rested. The one thing, I was at Elmer's Sunnybank Inn, this old Victorian house. That's where I did the crying video. He's got these stairs, and I was taking my trash down. I had like 3 different cups of unsweet tea to go and a pizza box. So I was like carrying those down, and my sock just slipped out from under me, and I just like full force edge of the stairs. My butt hit like all the way across, but then also my elbow, this one that's holding the phone, like slammed full force onto the wood. And then I just kind of sat there because I was like, that everything hurts. So I got this giant bruise on my butt, and my elbow is like so full of fluid, and I'm one to like sit and put my elbow down, so I keep hurting myself by accident. And when I go to sit, like I can't find a comfortable spot, which is probably good because I need to be walking more and hiking. So gonna go sit in the hot springs a little bit. Hopefully that'll help with the bruising, and then hike out in the morning. It might be snowing, it might be windy, it might be cold, but I did buy some base layers at the outfitter. I think I said that. So I'll have warmer under layers to deal with the cold and the wind. And then if it's still too cold, I'll throw my rain gear on. It's like wind pants and wind jacket. And like I said, it's only 9 miles. So worst case scenario, even if I'm trudging through the snow, it should only take, I don't know how many ups there are, but I'm guessing like 6 hours maximum, maybe 7. And I feel like an hour into it, I should be warming up. So that's the plan. And I think depending on the Wi-Fi situation, when I get to the next hostel, I will like do a deeper dive onto the second promise, the one I'm doing now, this someday that is now. And that is what's going on. Oh, so the pictures, I did a slack pack. I went from Tanyard Gap back down to Hot Springs. So that's what those pictures are for. And because it's going to get down to like 21 tonight, and there's all this snow coming and freeze, I was trying to get as many pictures of the flowers as possible. And like there's one picture, and it looks like I'm just taking pictures of a building and a truck, but there's this beautiful weeping willow, and I don't know if they're cherries or what they were, but flowers and trees. So I was just trying to take as many pictures of the color of spring before the winter hits again, and knocks off all these flowers and blossoms. So, oh, and Elmer from Elmer's Sunnybank Inn, he got nominated or inducted into the Appalachian Trail Hall of Fame. Found out yesterday or late the night before. So yesterday I like got a card at the outfitter, and I went to this little provisions place and got him like a candle, and he's a vegetarian, so like some mushroom jerky and something called mayhaw jelly. I'd never heard of it, and I figured he was vegetarian and it was a fruit, so it was probably good. I was assuming it was a fruit. So I told him congratulations. I had everybody in the hostel sign the card, but he lit his candle, And he tried the mushroom jerky, said it was bland, and I was like, well, I didn't know what flavor to get you. But the mayhaw jelly, I looked it up. It's from the hawthorn tree, hawthorn fruit, something. Anyway, he dug a knife in there and like held it out to me. So I had to eat like this huge blob of jelly, and he's like, how does it taste? And I was like, it's really delicate, kind of tastes like apple, cherry, mild. So then he dug that knife in and he took a taste and he said he liked it and it'd be good on toast. So, um, and then I'd bought like a lemon meringue pie from the freezer at the Hillbilly Market. I tried to go to the provisions place because they have homemade cakes, the only place in town, but they were sold out. So Cisco lemon meringue pie it was, but everyone had pie and tea to celebrate Elmer's achievement of being in the Hall of Fame. So that was also a little fun moment. And then tomorrow, hiking in the snow again, maybe, but knowing that there's an end at the 9 miles and that there's a bed and a heated cabin will make it so much sweeter to be able to hike. I'm sorry for the shaky camera. I'm holding it with like the hurt elbow. So I will talk to y'all later. Same bed, same clothes, but post hot springs, I went and sat in the hot springs. I had a 7-person jetted tub. The walk over there was really cold and rainy. And I thought, man, this is gonna be like cold outside. And I had been told by different people that the hot springs weren't like super hot, that maybe they were 110 degrees. Now when I get a bath, like I'm boiling hot in the bath to the point where like I almost can't get in it at first because it's so hot. So I thought, oh no, it's gonna be like so cold outside, and then it's gonna be like this lukewarm water or whatever. And I was talking to Tim, who owns the tavern, because I was leaving my bag down here till the room was ready. And he was saying like sometimes if he's in there and he's starting to feel like the water isn't warm enough, he just stands up and waits and lets, what did he call it? Like you have a warm force field, but then it'll dissipate and then the air will make you cold, and then you get back in and it's like really cold. I mean, really warm again. So I had invited Erin from Tobacco Road, and Pooch and Echo and Monarch, and then Amy and her daughter, the massage lady and her daughter, because there's like 7 people. Like let's have a 7-person hot tub party, or not even a party, just like let's all just sit there silently and soak in mineral springs. So Erin was the only one that showed up out of everybody. Monarch wasn't feeling great, or potentially not feeling great. And so as I'm sitting there in a hot tub, I'm watching like the rain turn to snow, and then the snow snowing, and then the snow was coming in. It's like it almost is like a trail shelter. It's 3 sides, and like a roof, and then it's open. And you see the mountain, right? It's like private because I guess nobody's seeing you. Maybe people hiking on the mountain can see. I don't know. They have binoculars or something. But like snow is pouring in over, so like I didn't want to get my hair wet because I thought if I'm walking back in this rainy cold, I don't need a wet head. So I have like my head leaned back, but then like my shoulders were out of the water and it was like snowing on me, and I thought this isn't great. And it was just like blowing with the winds. It wasn't constant snow, but it was like a lot of snow. And then I'm watching the snow and realizing it's gonna be like 20 degrees tonight, 21. And that the snow is not melting, and that it's colder on the mountain, and there'll be more snow on the mountain, and that tomorrow's hike that I was so like, I'm gonna do this hike and in the rain and it's whatever and get there, like it's 9 miles, but 5 of it is downhill, rocks, and I already fell down the stairs. I don't want to fall down the mountain. So I'm watching the snow, and I said to Erin, like, I don't know, like I have to get out of hot springs. I got to get to the next hostel, but I'm not sure I'm gonna go hike that. And he's laughing at me. And then like towards the end, I'm watching the snow because you get an hour or whatever, and they come knock on it like 5 minutes before your time's up or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not hiking in that tomorrow. He laughed. He's like, I already knew that. You knew that. Why do you have to have a conversation with your 12-year-old self or something? Because I told him my story a little bit. So it was funny. So thankfully he had a car the one I've ridden to Amy's with, and it's literally only like a 2-second drive, but the snow is pouring down and the wind is there. So like, I'm just like wrap myself in a towel, my bathing suit. It's really just like a really dark sports bra and dark underwear. But anyway, run to the bathroom that's heated and like get dressed so that I can like dry my bathing suit later. So it's really not that far, but I jumped in his car and he dropped me off at the tavern so I could go upstairs and just sit in my heated room. And so I called the shuttle guy and I was like, hey, friend, like, I'm not hiking tomorrow because I don't want to die. And I feel kind of silly that I think the word is scared. I'm going to admit it. Like, I'm scared of hypothermia again. And so I see the temperature, I see the wet, I see the snow. And I've already had it like 1.5 times. I don't need to make it 2, right? And so I'm just trying to do the best I can, but I also want to hike and not just like skip everything. So then I'm like, feel dumb, and then I feel failure, and then I feel scared, and then I feel insecure, and then I feel like totally overconfident, like overcompensating, I guess. So I'm like having all these emotions, but what I do know is like I need to get out of Hot Springs. I need to move on. I need to get to that hostel tomorrow, and I also don't need to be hiking in wet, cold weather. So the only option that I can see is, hey, get a shuttle to the hostel. Tomorrow's supposed to be the worst of the worst weather, like the end of the worst weather. And then for like the next 6 days, it's going to be in the 60s and it's going to be dry, supposedly no rain, but we're in the mountains, but whatever, like the temps are going back up. So I'm just going to go to the hostel and I'm just going to keep hiking north to Irwin. And I have enough days of food and I can hike like overnight, and then I can get to the next hostel and then spend another night, and then to the diner people, or just spend another night out there. I think it's like 5 nights total to get to Uncle Johnny's. But either way, I'm keeping going north. I'm not dying, keeping the number one rule. And I had told Echo, she's like 22, and I know how it is out here and you're sore and you're achy and whatever. And I told her, hey, this tavern room that I have again tonight, like has this bathtub that's really deep. Like if you want to come use the bathtub, you are more than welcome to. Dollar General's got like Epsom salts or bubble bath, like whatever you want, you're welcome to it. And I had texted them earlier about the hot tub. And then I had just texted her again and I was like, hey, just so you know, like I'm not getting in the bath tonight because I just soaked in the hot tub and like I'm feeling good. So this bath is all yours. And I told Tim, the owner of the tavern, that she might come. So he gave me an extra towel and washcloth for her. So they had finished eating at Vinyl Pies, which is kind of just across the street. I said, just text me because I got to unlock the door downstairs. So she just came over and soaked. I said, I wish you had Epsom salts, but it's just your body gets tight, and there's just nothing more relaxing than like a warm or a hot bath. So this is kind of a 2-bedroom suite. So I'm staying in the bedroom that's attached to the bathroom, but then there's a king bedroom out there. I'm pointing like you can see. I mean, someday I'll learn how to flip a camera. But anyway, so I just closed the door to this bedroom that's attached to the bathroom. And like, you can close that door, or this door will be closed, and I'm just going to be out in the other room scrolling on my phone, have at it. So she just left, and I'm so glad that she was able to do that, because it just makes a huge difference on your body with your muscles getting tight and stuff. So like the update to the update is that I'm moving north 9 miles down the trail. I'm just moving north 9 miles, not down the trail without doing that part of the trail. And hopefully this is the last time the trail tries to kill me. Like I said, I've hiked in the rain, and that's okay, as long as it's not like windy, freezing, and raining or snowing. And I just didn't want to be up there with like 6 inches of snow and rocks that I can't see, and slippery and slushy. Because even that 3.3 miles that I did to Lemon Gap the other day in the slippery, slushy snow, like there were a couple sketchy moments. And there's a video of Echo. Actually, her dad took Pooch. He took a video of her coming across the bridge because they have a YouTube channel. I think it's called Yonder Bound Adventures. Look them up. Like, they're great. But I think he was trying to like, hey, here's this great video of like my daughter coming down, going across this bridge. But she kind of like, she slips on the snow because they took a 0 on that snowy day and they came the next day and there was a lot of snow. And she kind of almost like launches off the bridge and lands like in the little creek and then keeps rolling and the trees are shaking. So then, of course, to be cinematic, and he's good at editing and I'm not good at editing, but he made it slow-mo so that you see her fall. And it's like, whoa, it's really funny. So anyway, I know she's like a little banged up and bruised up, and it's got to feel really good to just soak, even if it's just hot water, because I like opened the door a little bit. I said, I'm not looking in, but there is shampoo like on the bedside table that Tim left if you want to just pour that in for bubbles. So yeah, so again, hiking this hike, which is my own hike, which I'm still trying to figure out why I'm hiking. But heading down trail, up trail, heading north on trail, and then hanging out at the next hostel for one night, leaving out in the morning and hiking north and keeping going. Monarch is hiking out. Monarch, Pooch, and Echo are leaving at like 8 in the morning and doing that 9 miles. And then Monarch's going to stay at the same shelter hostel where I'm staying, and Pooch and Echo are moving on, and they're in from Dallas. And I asked her if she'd been to Meow Wolf, which if you don't know anything about Meow Wolf, it's meow like the cat and wolf like the dog. There's 5 of them, and they're like these art installations, interactive art experiences, and they're amazing. I've only been to the one in Denver, but there's one in Santa Fe and in Vegas, and Houston just opened, and like Grapevine, which is near Dallas. So I told her like, hey, my treat, I'm gonna come down and we're gonna do Meow Wolf, and not just Dallas, we're gonna do Meow Wolf, Houston and Dallas, my treat. And she's in school, so college. So I was like, maybe on your winter break when it's cold in Tennessee and hot in Texas, I'll come down. So I'm sure I'll see them again up trail, but even if I don't, like, we'll reconnect and see each other again. Really sweet family. The first night I met them was when I was at that groundhog shelter, and like, I have it alone, and then I didn't have it alone, and they were there. I was talking about people I'd met, and I talked about Stitch, and they're like, Stitch, our neighbor was asking us to look out for him. It's the same person. And Stitch, like I said, is from Michigan, but Michigan, Ohio, right there, Toledo War, he told you about, or told me about that I told you. And he sewed his own backpack, which is how he got his name. But it's like their neighbor's husband's cousin's son. Yes, I think I got that right. But either way, like, they were told to look out for him, so he will probably catch up to them at some point. So just kind of like a little small world. And I don't know if there's a point to that, if I've lost my train of thought, or if I just rambled on that. But anyway, like, stream of consciousness. They're going to be missed, and I wish them all the best, and I hope that I see them on trail again. But even if I don't, I will see them again, and then I'll see Monarch, because like, he has the same idea as me of like as many nights in a bed as possible and still hiking as much as possible. I think he's trying to pull bigger miles than I am. And somebody had asked me, this is an important thing, like, there's this dumb word called tramly, like your trail family. And a lot of people end up with one, like they'll hike with a group of people, maybe for a day or a week or the rest of the trail. Somebody asked me this, and I might have said this in another video. Like I said, I don't edit these or like watch them a ton or whatever. But somebody asked me, like, are you going to have a tramily? And I said, no, unless like something weird happens. Like, I have no plans for it, because I don't want to feel pressured to like hike more than I want to hike, or hike less than I want to hike. And when you have a group, there's always someone that wants to push bigger miles. There's always somebody probably me, that's the slower one or whatever. Or they'll say like, hey, we're going to meet up at the shelter, and then everybody just hikes the day and they meet at that shelter. Well, I may not want to be there. I don't know. So I just don't want to be beholden to anyone but my smaller self on this um, journey. So I don't think I'll have a trimly. I mean, God may do some miraculous thing and find the perfect person or group of people for me to be around, and that would be great. And if that happens, I will embrace it wholehearted, open arms. But it's not like something I'm seeking out or trying to find. So like while we had these last few days together with like Pooch and Echo and Monarch, um, hanging out in town and hiking some together, um, and it was wonderful. It's not something that I'm like, oh no, we need to keep this going. We can't um, separate or whatever. Like it feels good. It feels right. It feels like a-okay for them to like hike tomorrow, and like I'll see Monarch, but like I may or may not see them down trail again. Um, and that feels okay. Like I'm not sad about it. I'm not melancholy. I love that word, but I'm not like super happy. Like yes, I'm not gonna see them again. It's just like it was a beautiful moment, and now on to more beautiful moments. And so that's just kind of my feelings on the Tramley stuff. And that's my update on the update of the hike. Because I was even just looking outside just now when I go down, and it's nasty out there, and we still got a lot of hours till the morning, and then it's supposed to be snowing from like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that's like more snow. And I'm just learning like snow is not my friend, which is kind of ironic because I was born in a northern state that has a lot of snow, and the day, night, middle of the night when I was born, apparently like my parents' car was covered with snow where you can only see like a piece of the roof, and the neighbor knew my mom was pregnant, so he kept his truck dug out, so they just borrowed his truck and went to the hospital. So like I was born in snow, like a lot of snow. And I remember growing up sledding in snow and skating on a pond and like being outside in snow all day and loving it. But I'm just as happy if I never saw snow again, like yeah, it scares me now. Um, Maybe I'm just like this old, fearful old lady. I really pray. I hope not. Like, some fear is good, though. Like, fear to not die and put yourself in a situation that could kill you is probably a good fear to have, Like, it's probably wise to be like, you know what? Let's evaluate the situation. Not looking great, and just move on. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to justify this, even though I think it sounds like I am. I have fully talked with and have peace with my younger self about this. And again, sorry for the shaky camera. Probably should use that little tripod, credit card size tripod thing I have. Maybe I'll try that from the next hostel. If there's like good Wi-Fi or something, then I will. I know I said that I would talk about the second promise, but I just wanted to update this update and get this one uploaded while I've got service and Wi-Fi and stuff. So um, anyway, here's to hiking on for real once the hike doesn't try to kill me. And I'll talk about the second promise soon.